All right. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening. So, today's video, we're going to focus on some tools to keep ourselves centered and well during these times. But first, I wanted to start out with just a very short breathing technique that we can all benefit from. So, just find yourself in a quiet place. Get comfortable just for a few breaths. Take a moment to arrange your body in such a way that it feels supported. And then I invite you to take a moment and bring your attention to your chest area. Notice how everything feels. Notice each breath that comes in, the quality of each breath, the temperature, whether it's a nice, long and full breath or is it a short breath. Does the chest feel constricted, tight, heavy? And then take your attention to the backside, the back of the lungs, the back of the heart. Bring it all the way up to the shoulders, noticing without judgment how everything feels. Sort of taking your inner weather for the beginning of the day. And taking a moment to check in with the rest of the body now. Any pains, aches, any areas of discomfort. There we go. And then I invite you to take the next breath and bring it in deep into the center of your chest. Almost imagine yourself breathing in and out of the heart space. And see if you can, inside that heart space, perhaps where the breath doesn't usually reach. You might find yourself taking a little bit fuller and longer breaths than usual for the count of 6. And let's go ahead and repeat that heart space. And let's go ahead and repeat that cycle a couple more times as you breathe in and out of that heart space. That's it. Find your own, and perhaps even notice that your shoulders are slowly relaxing, falling back, chest opening. Breathing becomes easier. And as you exhale, feel that exhale moving throughout the body, rippling out from the center of the heart. And that breath takes the relaxation where anything out. Think of grateful for anything, any person, any situation, any memory that you can pull up. And let's tap into that feeling. Activates emotions in the body. And as we find ourselves in the place of gratitude, we allow our body to relax and begin taking over, resetting itself. Perhaps even find some self-healing and self-calm. If we give the body a chance, it knows what to do to keep the balance. So breathe in that breath of gratitude now and bring it into the heart. And as you exhale, feel that gratitude moving throughout the body, bouncing through any blocks, any dark areas, any tension, making its way through the whole body. And as it ripples out from the center of the heart, feel gratitude touching upon every organ in your body, coursing through all your systems, rejuvenating and awakening the bloodstream. With every breath of gratitude that you bring in, and then as you exhale that gratitude, you feel it going further and feel its beautiful, calming and rejuvenating effects all throughout the body. Let's stay here for a couple of collective breaths, breathing in and out of the heart with gratitude in mind. Wonderful. Now slowly bring yourself back, knowing that you have the strength, the resilience, and the centeredness within you to face anything that's coming your way today and every day. And slowly start opening your eyes, bringing yourself back into this body. And I want to address a little bit self-care, because this is so paramount right now with everything that's going on. And we're in uncertain times, and we all feel a bit unsettled and anxious and worried about how to deal with a new reality and what really comes next. So each one of us will react differently. And extroverts and introverts alike will find ourselves needing extra tools to keep us stay out of fear and worry, and also to find a new way of literally doing life. So I have written a few notes here that I'm going to go through just to make sure that I cover everything that I wanted to cover today. And there's some things that are really paramount right now, I find, in staying well and sane, because we need those times of centeredness to get us through what is happening and the uncertainty that we don't exactly know where this is going to go. We either go day to day or we go week to week, or right now Colorado is on lockdown as well as of this morning until April 15th, I want to say. I can't exactly remember. But again, yet a different reality to face. It's going to be a different way of dealing with every day today. So that's why it's important to find ways of resonating well within ourselves and staying in a good place now more than ever. So I have written down some self-care things here, and we're going to go through them one by one. So one of the most important things that we can do right now is what I call reframe, rephrase, redirect. Quietly observing the changes that are happening in our world. But how we react to these changes on the outside follows suit on the inside of our body and mind. Our thoughts create emotions. Our emotions create chemical reactions in our body. So happy, stressful thoughts will produce stress hormones and disarray in the body. Happy, joyful thoughts create coherence and maximum balanced operations in the body. So it really, if you think about it, is very, very important right now how we think, what thoughts we allow into our body, and how we react to our external environment. There's so much going on, so many news being sent our way, and so many things that we don't know, that it is easy for us to become off-center. But now more than ever is it super important to reframe, rephrase, and redirect every chance that you have and every time that you remember. It is important to practice redirecting your thoughts to something more positive, even if it is the smallest positive thing that you can find. And that will take away as much as possible the anxiousness. It will create better chemicals in your body, and we will come in a place where we're more clear in our limbic brain as well. We will have better ways of operating, so to speak, in the mental and our physical capacities. Another thing is, this is the time to watch your diet. But what I mean by that is eat fresh foods and avoid boxed foods and processed foods as much as possible. It is easy during this time to buy a bunch of mac and cheese or microwave foods and things like that, and hunker down and watch TV. But this is exactly what we need to avoid. If you can give fresh fuel to your body will stay strong. You will feed your immunity. There's so many ways that and so much energy that a body takes from nutrition that it is super important right now to stay in that good place. And See if you can avoid sugar and avoid other chemicals that are in those box foods and in foods that stay on the shelf a long time, basically. While, I find ourselves, while we always cook daily anyways, I am becoming more creative in the kitchen, just trying to find ways to cook something different and become, flexible with the things that I have in the fridge. Sometimes I'll go in there and I'll pull just about everything to make a salad. And what helps also is to maybe think in mind in the sense of color. Try to make your salads colorful. What else can I put in there that's a different color? Makes it tasty, makes it fun, makes it exciting to come up with a new recipe. And sometimes it's super simple. It doesn't have to have 10 ingredients, 2, 3, 4 ingredients, whatever your palate requires. But it's important to have those fresh foods. The other thing is hydrate. More than ever, especially if you're not moving too much, this is a time to give your body and mind what they need for optimal operation. And what I mean by that is I always tend to think of the cells in our body as grape clusters. Think of the grapes and how tightly they're together when grapes are fresh. When they're not so fresh, they kind of fall apart. They become like raisins, right? And they pull apart from each other. So I think of cells in our body as those fresh grape globes that are tightly connected together. They have good communication because they're tightly connected together. And there is a good flow of, nutrients that come in and out of the cells that way. So when we stay hydrated, we help our body stay healthy. That's one thing. When we stay hydrated, we also help our body flush toxins. And there's so many things that take from our body that it is important to, sometimes if we have eaten something that hasn't been so helpful and so good for us, great time to just try to drink a little bit more water, take your supplements and flush those things out. We all will fall into the times when we need some comfort food, whether that is sweets for you or salty foods, whatever it is, it's normal. This is a time of high stress. Just make sure to follow suit with time. It is essential in so many ways. So whether you like to meditate, to garden, to sit still, or whatever other ways that you have to take a few moments for the body and mind to settle and benefit from that time. I love the saying that when the mind is quiet, the heart can be heard. And I love that because in our busy world, we forget or we don't have a moment to sit still and listen to what the body and our heart is trying to tell us. And if we do, we'll find that before anything happens in our body, it always tries to give us a clue. And the only way that it has to communicate with us is to create some kind of tension, pain, discomfort, and say, hey, I need something different here. Let's readjust. Let's try something else that works better. So having that quiet time is paramount, not only because it eases tension, it eases anxiety, it helps you to go within and find your center, but it is also super important. So you can check in with your body every morning. Take your inner weather once again and see what's going on. What is happening in your body? Is there an area that needs more attention, more TLC? Let's see. Let's take it's beneficial to take a few breaths and send them into that area of the body that is screaming for your attention. Breathing is so good for our body. It helps to keep the flow. It helps to keep all our processes in order, and it helps us to stay connected. So if you can stop several times a day and find yourself take some quiet time at night. What I like to do at night is not only to sit quietly for a few minutes before I go to sleep and take a few breaths, but I also like to consciously release the day. And that means let go of what happened during the day. I don't want to take it into my sleep, but rather what I would like to take into my sleep is some kind of positive statement or an idea that I want to work on, so to speak, during my sleep and my dream time. Our mind goes into that slower brain function, during the time of sleep. And it is always beneficial for the last focus that you had for the day to be something that is good for you and not to be something that is worrisome or anxious. Now, let's see what else. Exercising. What a great way for the body to relax and for the mind to let. So not only is it good for our physical body, it's good for our emotional body, especially if we're going through major stress right now. And exercising can take so many forms. We have yoga, tai chi, qigong, walking, jogging, lifting weights. And if you don't have any weights at home, there's a great way. Just grab a couple of bottles of water and perhaps use those as weights. Just use things around the house. It doesn't have to be nowadays that are available even for free. Perhaps join one of those or join your friends in an online class and do something together. Next is laughing. Laugh and engage in activities that bring you joy. Play cards, table games with your family, join a streamed online game with your friends. Catch up with family and their lives. If you haven't had time to speak, to catch up more than usual, as I don't necessarily have, enough time always to go into long conversations, but what a blessing right now, classes online. Try something new. Watch comedies and funny shows. I love Lucy, literally. That is one of my favorite shows. A project. Oof, if you've had a project that you have been meaning to tackle for quite a while or you've always wanted to start, what a great opportunity. Not only yourself, phenomenal time. Organize, clean out the spaces that you haven't cleaned in a while. Do some deep cleaning. After all, it is spring, so spring cleaning is in. All right, let's see what else. Connection. Connection is very, very important right now, whether it's family, friends, people. Social media has always been challenging to me. It hasn't been really doing. You can pick up the phone also and have that old-fashioned conversation. It doesn't need to be on the social media. And it is also important because community is a place right now, or friendship, or anybody in your family on can be very beneficial. You letting it out can be very beneficial. But also remember to be there for your friends and family as well when they need to do the same. This is the time to support each other and to be in a place of compassion, that sounding board out when you need professional help. Stay in touch with your doctor or doctors. Now, I believe Colorado has lifted any telehealth. So if you find yourself settling into depression, anxiety, or panic, especially over continued several days, I would invite you to just pick up the phone and call your medical professional and ask for some help. That's what they're here for. Mental health can also be very challenging right now when we're constantly bombarded by the news and the state of affairs. So do yourself a favor and limit your exposure to the news. It is my experience that between morning and night, there's not usually a huge difference in the news, right? And if we have that puts us in a fight or flight or freeze situation in our body. This is where cortisol, our stress hormone, continues to drip in hour after hour. It creates more anxiety. We find ourselves in a place where we can with great difficulty get out. So it is important to stay aware, but it is also super important right now to not be overwhelmed by what is going on. Staying glued in front of the TV and watching coverage after coverage is not going to bring you anything new, but it is going to compromise your health. So if you're going to stay in front of the TV, I invite you to switch the channel, find something funny, find something, whatever works for you, but stay away from anxiety, violence, and things like this that don't feed your emotional support right now. News about the pandemic can create that fight or flight or freeze situation so fast, right? So let's try and keep ourselves aware, but in a good place. Daily routine has changed during this time, then create a new routine that works for you, one that you have control over. So there is comfort in knowing that there is something coming next that we know, right? That we have control over what's going to happen in our day. Even though if we don't have control what's going on outside into the world, at least we can feel secure in knowing that we have some control over our personal lives right now within our homes, within our gardens. So create a routine for yourself, whatever that looks like. I like to wake up in the morning, do my quiet time, do my yoga, get into my office and start doing my things. And then I'm going to stop for lunch, make some fresh salad or something, and then continue on with my work. Whatever it looks like for you, make it so that you know that it's coming tomorrow in the same way, and you will feel so much better knowing that you have that little bit of control over what's going on. Being on lockdown doesn't necessarily mean you can't go anywhere. You will be able to go and get groceries or go to the pharmacy or visit your doctor if you need to. It just means limit unnecessary trips outside and do stay inside as much as possible. Again, you can have control over that as well. So these are a few ways that I wanted to share about creating a day for you that is more calm, brings more serenity to you, that you feel like you have some control over. And, one day at a time. We will get through all of this together. If you need something, please do not hesitate to contact me, to email me, text me. If you need a session, I'm here. I'm continuing with my remote sessions, whether that is energy medicine, hypnosis, or coaching. We can work with a whole bunch of things. And I will continue to post meditations and self-help information online. And that's it for today.